The air crackled with excitement. Millfield was buzzing. The carnival was coming to town. Colourful posters adorned every lamppost. They promised thrills and chills. Everyone in Millfield looked forward to a week of fun. Kids skipped through the streets, their laughter echoing. The carnival was all they could talk about. Mrs. Parker baked extra pies. Mayor Thompson promised a spectacular opening ceremony. Even old Mr. Hemlock, known for his grumpy demeanour, cracked a smile. The carnival had a way of doing that. It brought everyone together. Little did they know, this carnival was different. This one held a dark secret. The carnival arrived on a Wednesday, shrouded in mist, as if it had emerged from a dream. It lumbered into town like a tired beast, dragging its feet, weary from countless journeys. Its rides were rusty, their paint peeling, revealing the years of neglect and countless memories. The tents looked faded and worn, like old soldiers who had seen too many battles. An air of sadness hung over the place, a melancholic whisper in the wind. It was as if the carnival itself was weary, burdened by the weight of its own history. The townsfolk, blinded by their excitement, barely noticed the signs of decay. The carnival set up shop on the outskirts of town, away from the bustling centre. Their chosen location? Next to the old Millfield Cemetery, a place of forgotten souls. The townsfolk, though, paid no mind to the eerie setting. They were too busy choosing which rides to try first, their laughter echoing in the air. They ignored the shivers that ran down their spines, attributing it to the evening chill. They dismissed the feeling of being watched, convincing themselves it was just their imagination. The carnival was here, and that was all that mattered. For now, the thrill overshadowed the unease. Night fell, and the carnival sprang to life, transforming the quiet town into a bustling wonderland. Lights flickered, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. The smell of popcorn and cotton candy filled the air, mingling with the scent of fried dough and caramel apples. Music blared from every corner, enticing everyone closer, creating a symphony of excitement and anticipation. The Ferris wheel spun majestically, its lights painting the night sky with vibrant colours and patterns. Laughter echoed through the grounds, momentarily drowning out the underlying unease that lingered in the air. Children shrieked with delight on the rickety roller coaster, their faces lit up with pure joy and exhilaration. Teenagers strolled through the carnival, trying to impress each other with daring feats and playful banter. Parents watched their children, their faces lit by the twinkling lights, sharing smiles and moments of happiness. For a little while, Millfield forgot its troubles, lost in the joy and excitement of the night. It was lost in the magic of the carnival, a temporary escape from reality, but the magic was an illusion, a flimsy curtain that hid the darker truths. And behind it, something wicked waited, lurking in the shadows, ready to shatter the illusion. A hush fell over the crowd. A new act was about to begin. On a makeshift stage, a group of clowns appeared. They called themselves the Grim Jesters. Their makeup was grotesque. It was more sinister than silly. Their smiles were painted on, wide and unnatural. The Grim Jesters began their act. Their movements were jerky, their jokes unsettling. Their laughter was a discordant symphony. The crowd grew silent. The children who usually adored clowns hid behind their parents. A wave of discomfort swept through the crowd, replacing the earlier joy. The Grim Jesters were not funny. They were frightening. Section 5. Laughter fades to fear. The Grim Jesters continued their performance, each act more disturbing than the last. The audience, initially amused, began to feel a creeping unease. Their laughter grew louder, more manic, echoing through the night air like a sinister melody. Their eyes, behind the thick paint, seemed to glow with an unnatural light. piercing through the darkness. The once bright carnival lights dimmed, plunging the crowd into an unsettling darkness. Shadows dancing ominously, the air grew heavy, thick with dread, as if the very atmosphere was suffocating. Then one of the clowns did something unexpected, breaking the thin veil of safety. He lunged at a young boy in the front row. The boy screamed, his face a mask of terror. The crowd gasped in horror. This was no longer part of the act. This was real. The realization hit everyone at once. Fear, raw and primal, spread through the crowd like wildfire, causing chaos and panic. The carnival's magic had vanished, leaving behind an eerie silence. It was replaced by a chilling terror, a nightmare that no one could escape. Section 6. Chaos in the crowd. Panic erupted. People scrambled to escape the clown's sudden aggression. The grim jesters, no longer pretending, advanced. They brandished sharp objects that glinted under the pale moonlight. Screams pierced the night as the clowns attacked. Their laughter was a chilling soundtrack to the chaos. The Ferris wheel ground to a halt, its lights flickering ominously. The carousel spun wildly, its music a discordant wail. The carnival, once a beacon of joy, had transformed into a nightmare. And the townsfolk of Millfield were trapped within it. Their screams for help were lost in the night. Amidst the chaos, a young girl named Emma stood her ground. She had always been brave, more than the other children. She refused to give in to fear. Clutching her teddy bear, she glared at the approaching clowns. Her heart pounded, but her gaze was steady. "Leave them alone!" Emma shouted, her voice trembling slightly. The clowns paused, momentarily surprised by her defiance. Emma's friends, emboldened by her courage, joined her. They were just kids, but they would not stand idly by. They would protect their town, they would face the shadows. As Emma and her friends faced the menacing clowns, a cold wind swept across the carnival. The old trees in the nearby cemetery swayed, their branches clawing at the night sky. A chorus of whispers seemed to rise from the graves, faint at first, then growing stronger. The clowns hesitated, their grins faltering. The air grew thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. A spectral glow emanated from the cemetery gates, casting eerie shadows across the carnival grounds. The whispers intensified, transforming into mournful wails. The clowns backed away, their eyes wide with terror. Something was coming, something from beyond the veil. From the heart of the cemetery, figures emerged. They were translucent, shimmering with an otherworldly light. The spirits of Millfield's past had answered the children's plea. The wails intensified, becoming a symphony of sorrow and rage. The spirits, once peaceful residents of the graveyard, were angered by the carnival's darkness. The clowns, their bravado gone, trembled before the spectral onslaught. The spirits, their forms shifting like smoke, surged forward. They surrounded the grim jesters, their mournful cries echoing through the night. The clowns, their wickedness dissolving, were dragged toward the cemetery gates. They vanished into the darkness, their laughter silenced forever. As dawn broke, the carnival stood abandoned, its gaudy lights extinguished. The tents flapped in the wind, like the remnants of a forgotten dream. The townsfolk, shaken but safe, emerged from their homes. They looked upon the remnants of the carnival with a mixture of fear and disbelief. The carnival was gone as quickly as it arrived, leaving behind only whispers and shadows. The townsfolk of Millfield made an unspoken vow. They would never speak of the carnival of shadows. They would try to forget the horrors they had witnessed. But some things are not easily forgotten, and the shadows, they always linger.